Right, so I'm going to do my therapeutic way as I've been out, had a lovely day, and I'm now going to wind down and just do a little card. So I'm going to do my idea of sort of an unusual carnation-y colours, but almost like rose petals, and really easy to do. So what I shall do on here is I shall put some paint. I shall wet my palette, and of course I've used all these colours here. I've got pinks, and I shall add a little bit of a reddy colour because I'm going to use just all the colours I've got on here. There's a little bit of dark on there, like a little bit of black, but that's fine. And I shall do a little bit of the bright pink because I want it to be as bright and colourful as possible. I'm not going to wet my paper on here because this particular style goes better on a dry bit of paper. But I do like my different colours. Okay, so I always start off with a deeper little bit in the middle. So I'm going to a corner of the paper and I start off with just doing little tiny dark little rosebud petal shapes. You can always add to it, but as you go round you just get slightly bigger as you go and slightly looser so that it's not so dark on your actual paper. I don't like to overkill these ones because I like the soft, natural looking because of it's a pastel card. Right, first flower. Okay, and this is going to have lots of flowers. I'm going to have even smaller flowers on here. Doesn't have to be all the same shape flower. You can have different types, but I should do another one of these, but with like darker centres. Again, little nice and gentle little splashes as you go round, almost like a cartwheel all the way round, and that just gives a really ornate type of flower without any hardship to do. Okay, second one. So I want to sort of join them together, so what I'm going to do is a light, slightly pinkier one behind. There we go, because I like to just put a centre dark bit in there. Round we go, and that will follow it all through there. And I find this very relaxing, and again you just do it as scruffy as you like, or you can spend longer with a smaller brush. As you can see, I'm using my favourite big brush on there. So I'm washing my brush now. I'm quite happy with those flowers, so I really want to do something a little bit different now. So I think what I'll do is put a little bit of green, little green leaves in the bottom part, just to fill up the little centre bit, to give it a little bit of depth. There. But as it's very pink, a little bit of green, I fancy doing a little bit of wisteria just hanging from that top. And as you know, when I do my wisterias, I like to have a few different colour blues on there. It's a lot harder to do wisteria with watercolour. I much prefer to do it in my acrylic because you don't get the same sort of colour on there, where I will put a bit more blue in there. Okay, so now I'm going to just come from the top of my paper, and I think you can probably see I'm just doing a little tiny bit at the top. Yeah. And I'm going to just bring it down so it'll either look like wisteria or it'll even look like grapes or anything like that. It's just got those sort of colours in it. But this is my favourite flower to do. I love putting all the blues with the bits of purple, and it can intermingle a little bits on it. But it makes the cards, each card you do, it's more special, and nobody else, you'd only give one to a friend and nobody else would have it. So this one, as you see, has got wisteria there, and now I'm going to balance it by wisteria here. Then that card will be done. Yeah, so I'm loving it. I'm loving the look of this one. It's and part of it is, like we said, you have to enjoy doing it. There's no point otherwise. And I'll put more of my little blue bits on. It's great fun just to make your own cards and enjoy what I class as a little bit of therapy. So that card is practically finished. I just have to put a few more little tiny bits of purple on the edges, on there, just so we know there's little bits of the colouring. A little bit of blue on the top. Yeah. So that card is now done. Let's bring it up into there. So flowerings from the top, flowerings on the bottom. Okay, so that's one card. Wait for it to dry before I put any words or anything on, and then I'm going to do one of my quick cards of the poppies. So this one is the one when I just do the couple of bits of water, a little bit of shape on there, and then we do the reds colours, the deep colours, and we just put it on there. And then to start off with, we will get the shape, and we will, and as the card's got to be up that way, right, happy with that. Gives me the base of my flower, and I will use a little tiny bit more of the deep to just, that one's got a lovely little deep bit there, so that's where I'll do the shape, because I don't want it to be very poppy like there. And that one's coming in on the angle. As you can see, the shapes for my poppies, and blow again, or wiggle it round. Great, I'm happy with that. And with the poppy, on this one, I'm going to put a little bit of my bronzy colour on the edges, because I've done that before. And what I'll do is use a clean brush, a smaller clean brush, because I don't want to put any more water on there, but I will get some of the lovely bronze, and I shall actually take that into the edges on there. I'll better put that, just line it up a little bit more, so you can see I'm just putting little browny bits which are going to be on the edging, which we like on here, there, and again to make some little shapes. And then when I finish this one, I will quite like to put brown little splotches on, because of I'm making it more peachy, the edges of the poppy, and I quite like that bit coming across there, and I'm filling that one out to be a great big poppy, making sure I got a bit more red. But see the difference of when you're using very, very wet, you can just bring it down and make it into the shape, and I like the shape on there, and that one's going to be on there. Okay, so I don't want to touch that for the minute, but I will put a real black line underneath, because I'm going to want it popping. You want it to be bright and show up. And then that one will be there. The reason I'm doing that is because I want to add just a little fancy one there, which is going to be the seed head, which I shall put on there like that, and I will put some of the browny colours on there in a minute. And to balance it out, because I'm old-fashioned and I like to have things balanced, I'll put that one on there with the little tiny bits. But now this is probably dry enough for me to put mingle my black in on there. And then a few little dots, what will be like the central bits, what you'll still be able to see from the little bits of the petals. And that one will probably be a little drop like that. Okay, and even though I've put the black on there, I will then wash my brush, and then I will put a bit of my brown on it. Okay, so I think you're seeing on on here. There you go. It's showing my poppies, and I absolutely love to do this bronze colour, and we will be popping this on here. Just a few little spots. I tend to get more on me than I do on the paint, on the card sometimes, but I like the bigger, really colourful ones if I can get. Yeah, perfect. Just tap your brushes. Right, there we go. Another birthday card, just to add in all your little bits and pieces. So we'll leave that to dry, and we'll leave that one to dry, and just show you the other designs. So we can go for poppies, we can go for unusual sort of flowers, we can do hearts for Valentine's, and we start off with all our basic ones, and then of course we then, to make it more personalised, you can put your happy birthday, you could then do, you know, make it more special. I like to actually paint on there that Hand Painted with Love by Sally, so then it's more special. Thank you for watching, and tomorrow I will be doing the big acrylic. As you can see, the original painting over there, my very first one once my husband died, and that was, to me, was despair with all the upset and everything and splashing it all over. So now I want to portray a very similar picture. Now I'm calmer, now I'm relaxed, and see whether a year of being taught art, whether I can actually make a better picture than I did of my own free will. Thank you very much.